everyone. It's been a while since we've posted. I have moments where I am just so busy in life that I don't get around to posting longer videos onto YouTube here. And I also don't read comments. I'm sorry, I just really don't across all social media platforms. It just helps with my own personal, what is it called, like mental part of internet, you know. I set my boundary and that's where it's at. Sometimes there's some really lovely, beautiful comments, and then the other side of it is people coming out of the woodworks with the craziest comments, and you know, I just have so much on my plate, I have no time for that. But Jordan had mentioned, because I do talk a lot about our products, especially stuff that I use on Freckles, my sorrel horse, I'll go get a video of him, and then Silver, our Grula mare, both of them I compete on. They're my horses that I run, and so I do everything I can in my powers, in my budget, to make sure that they are feeling good and that I am doing everything I can for their health needs. Some people call it maintenance, and maintenance is a whole other topic, and it's something that we have learned, and I've spent thousands of dollars learning maintenance on a performance horse, on just horses in general when they need something for their health, for their maintenance, for feeling good. Even a pasture pony sitting on a field and you're throwing hay at it and petting it once in a while, if it coughs, it needs maintenance. Don't mind the mess. This is the end of the season clutter. I also got everything here. So let's start from the front. Bemer, I got the blanket and the cuffs. I use that steadily on our horses. Freckles in particular uses the flexineb mask, and this is where some of the questions kind of came up. I had to use some medication, and I have never used it before, but this is where I'm going to answer some questions. I used 2 different puffers that are human grade, and you've seen that video of me going to the pharmacy and having a little chat with them. This is what he normally... Freckles has the Equi-enhaler, but it has ran out. It won't give me any more. And because it was the end of the season, these things are like almost $700 Canadian. Don't get me wrong, this is the most amazing drug for airway disease in horses, in my opinion. This is all my opinion, but it's not cheap. It's 700 bucks. And so for one weekend of racing, because this wouldn't work, I went and asked my vet, and my vet had prescribed me these puffers to get Freckles through the weekend. Whereas next year, for next season, he will have a new one of these. And he's on CEP Daily Lung, which is a powder form, and visceral for for ulcers. Side note, ulcers are another whole discussion. Ulcers and airway disease are the #1 things that I am always learning about, and I'm not kidding you. I spent close to $7,000 Canadian this year alone on my medical vet bills for Freckles and Silver, so that I could better understand how to care for my horses. And so building their immune system and building their body from the gut health, from inside out, is what I'm learning to be hugely important for them. So they get these pills, visceral, oh, I don't have them down here. I have omeprazole and GastroGuard, and then this is super cheap stuff. I actually don't really use it anymore, but maybe on our young training horses I will. But back to the lungs. if your horse coughs, like out on the field, coughs, the one thing I've learned, and it cost me $1,000 to learn this from our vet, is they are having lung damage every single time they cough. Even on the field, even in the trailer, even down the trail, even in the arena, even a horse running. That damage is permanent. You are not fixing it. So when I diagnosed Freckles the other year, and I had went through multiple different vets until I had found a specialist who understood airway disease, and we had scoped him and listened to his lungs and did a saliva test. We've done all these things because he also has hives, sorry. He breaks out, he has allergies. He's my little allergy boy. He has allergies first thing in the springtime, and then he has allergies to hay dust and trailer dust. So when I thought I was being oh so loving to my horse Freckles by stuffing his trailer full of yummy hay and sawdust, I was actually giving him respiratory distress. And there's been times where I've gotten to my location and he was so swollen and puffed up that I had phoned the vet in that town for an emergency visit, and we gave him Dex. So I've learned a lot, and I hope, let me turn this around, and I hope by me sharing my journey with Freckles and Silver in particular and the products that I use, I don't know everything. I'm not a vet. I literally only can digest what I can from my appointments with my vets, and I use the best that I can get in BC. They go to the best and I spend the money. So I freely share everything that I've learned, everything that I've gone through, and everything about my horses, so that if you see something in your own horse that looks similar, you have an idea to be able to go to your vet with and be like, I think my horse has this, I don't know, airway disease, or I think my horse has ulcers. Because I started off not even knowing, and we played like detective, and I spent a lot of time on blood work and testings and vets until we understood what was wrong with my horses. So I'm just trying to share my knowledge and share my experience so that maybe other people have a better understanding or a starting point with their own horse. This is a really lengthy video, and I'm glad you're watching it to the end, because I wish I had seen these. I wish I'd seen these with Freckles, and it breaks my heart that he has airway disease and I didn't understand it a couple of years ago. I didn't know that every time he coughed or when he broke out in heaves or had allergies in the springtime, that it was doing permanent damage to him, and that I could have been giving him a supplement or a feed program or his inhaler, and it would help alleviate his symptoms and help minimize the damage that's happening to him on the inside. That was really long. Thank you. I will walk over to the horses and drop some apples off, and you guys can watch that happen. Here's the herd. I just threw out a bucket of apples. It's the end of the apple season here, so everybody gets apples every day. They're a little bit spoiled. They're also on the dry field, just because we have the new trailer coming in tonight with all the new horses, so we didn't want these guys to be anywhere close to them, not until the other guys get settled, and we make sure nobody has snotty noses or anything weird going on. We don't really need to share it with the rest of the herd. That's Freckles right there, the sorrel. And that's Silver, apple dripping out of her face. That's James. He'll go into winter training soon here. Yes, you. And that's Bitsy with her butt to us, and Skull up on the other side there. Cricket, behind James now. Ranger, we call her Baby with her butt, and Drift, and Holly.